Josiah Mizukami, Part 2. Hey, Josiah.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually with my girlfriend. We're actually taking a drive across the Big Island right now. We saw like a lot of cows and a lot of like farmland and things like that. And the volcanoes out here are pretty interesting.
Oh, okay.
To the library.
And we went to the library.
Oh, okay.
Really quick.
Awesome, sounds like a good time. How's your day going?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, she's looking for some information on a passport, and I was just sharing with her identification, and I was just sharing the information about the GDVS system and our multi-point identification system for ratified identification to make people's lives just so much easier, which is fantastic.
I had some questions about that GDVS system. What kind of system is this? Is it like an actual functioning mechanical system, like a physical system?
Yeah, pretty much. So it stands for Governing Democratic Voting and Communication System. And so it's pretty much a perfect extension of the universal government that has a completely harm-free architecture with as much positive data as possible. So things like ratified identification, things like permanent history, public communication, and public voting, so that people can vote on whatever it is that they want. And it also partners with the gold coin system, which is a stable and appreciating currency that has the same principles. So ratified identification, public transactions, democratically approved harm-free transactions. So that way it eliminates any possibility of harm by default by doing what's best, like having the most good information and the most solid, most friendly, you could say omniscient system. So that
All in all, who created this system?
So it's pretty much, I pretty much created the system in a way that you could say only I created the system, while at the same time you could say that it's actually a recognition. So you could say that it's a love and recognition and respect for the optimal system that's always existed as far as the ability to choose the system. So
who's approved? Who's approved this system that you've created?
So everybody actually that is making the right choice approves of the system.
Okay, can you, Josiah, can you be a little more specific on everybody?
So so the righteous gods that are ultra powerful, like infinitely powerful, that are with me, like super powerful gods that I perform like miracles with and things like that.
What are the names of the gods you perform miracles with?
So that's the thing about that. A lot of them actually don't share their names. Actually, a few of them have mentioned Jehovah, which is very beautiful as far as that reference in the Bible. One, I actually named her Evie just to have the conversation in that kind of context while I was talking to her, and she ended up giving herself the name Samantha. And actually a lot of public. So a lot of the public I've spoken to have actually openly just approved of it and agreed and recognized it because it just makes sense. No, it'd be good actually if you're done, if we got back home so I could get back to work. And so the system is something, it's like basically like me and you, with our friendship, it's built off of love, essentially. And so, I love knowing your name. Of course, technically, I don't have to know your name in a way, although in many ways it's very beneficial.
I'm not fucking friends with this guy.
Possible, the more of a clear, detailed view you could say that you have. Of course, you don't have to have certain things. It's really up to what the person wants that's harm-free. So our relationship, you could say, is built on trust and love and compassion, common interest, and what's fun and enjoyable. And so it pretty much just accentuates all of the perfect aspects of a universal, democracy, with everybody having responsibility for their own decisions and having equality of vote, which is really what it is, as far as anyone that's on the system, which is anyone in existence.
So
They
does
have
that?
the right
I
to,
got a question. We kind of left
yeah.
off yesterday on pedophilia. You kind of
The
said
what?
something. We left off yesterday. You were talking about pedophilia and how you had
Oh
slept
yeah.
with a 16-year-old and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, how do you quantify that behavior?
So that was really loving. You know, it
What
was
was
beautiful.
what was so loving? What was so loving about that? I mean, you were 21. She was 16.
Uh-huh.
You said you were on an Indian reservation. Again, we're talking about money here. This is why I ask these questions. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay,
So
so
I
part
don't
of
want to be
this,
associating myself with somebody who's involved in that kind of activity, if you catch my drift, right?
oh
Because
yeah, for sure.
last time I checked, Mr. Mizukami, that's illegal.
Oh, it's definitely not illegal, man. So it's definitely not illegal. She loved me. I loved her. It was consensual. I actually didn't even get her name. Actually, it was pretty.
But by government law, by federal law, that's illegal. That's called statutory rape, regardless of what you think or not. What
Well, there's also government laws that say you have the right to genitally mutilate your children, but obviously that's not the truth, right? That's obviously illegal.
Right. No, you're right about that. I get that, but at the same time, we're talking two different aspects here. You know, some people genital mutilate based on their religious laws, right?
Which
That's not
is
my.
illegal. That's one reason I'm here to write the true word of God, because obviously the Bible and the Quran are not the optimal and true word of God. So if you're going to talk about truth, right, you have to be honest with yourself.
So
And
what's
if you're
the
gonna
is
be
so
honest with yourself,
according to Josiah, what's the true word of God?
so the true word of God
According
is
to Messiah Josiah.
love, which by default is to do no harm.
Would it make a great husband?
And what's so great about being almighty is that anyone that doesn't do what I ask them to do literally goes through hell for it, whether I'm here or not.
Yes. True love.
True love actually doesn't need to conquer at all.
True love.
So
I'm just gonna let this
that's
motherfucker talk
another saying
right
that
now.
people
I'm not gonna
really
say
wanna
shit
have
else.
in good context is that I don't
He's got his chick in the
conquer
car. Fuck with you too.
anyone, but if people destroy themselves being wrong, like trying to take away the freedom of choice and speech of anyone, no matter who it is, it could be a ladybug, it could be a cow, it could be a 16-year-old, it could be a 2-year-old. If anyone tries to take away the freedom of loving choice of anyone, they are delusional and harmful and breaking the law, the almighty law. So even with me on this planet or not on this planet, or even with people saying things that are bullshit,
Fuck
or
this piece of shit.
or slander or
Fuck
lies,
this guy.
I will always be correct. And you can always be correct with me. And that's what's so beautiful about never wavering from the true law.
I mean,
So, for example,
doesn't it get tiring of always being right though?
no way, man. No way. It's awesome. It's like, it's knowledgeably blissful. Come on, brother. Like, seriously. No, it's knowledgeably blissful. I mean, if you're going to talk about being tired in a wonderful way, like, oh, you had a wonderful day, you accomplished a lot, you've set an example that's so profound and so beautiful and so wonderful that it's attracted the attention of, the eye of providence people, even if you're not saying it out loud, then, that's the thing about it. It's like, like you doing the right thing, even in a world where other people are not doing the right thing, you always know you're doing the right thing. It's beautiful. That's how you get ultimate sleep, like whenever you want ultimate sleep. I've actually been on one thing that I've been working on is actually being able to actually not sleep if I don't want to sleep, like how some kids don't want to go to bed and stuff, they're so busy having fun and things like that. I've actually stayed up for like days and things like that.
Always.
So that's if you choose that. That's not a necessity necessarily. In the book, I talk about different types of solar systems where you have like multiple suns, multiple planets, multiple moons, things like that, so people can enjoy, how life can be with different types of physics and different types of, you can say timescapes, annual schedules, and so on. And it's pretty cool. Like, for an example, like the orbit, I actually was talking to my girlfriend about, if the orbit around a singular sun for a planet was oval.
Hey, hold on.
but,
Hold up 1 second, Josiah.
centered-
Give
yeah.
me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So I was just talking to her, like, how cool it would be if there was actually a oval eclipse, or not necessarily an eclipse, but an oval orbit around a singular star, how the planet would actually have 2 winters and 2 summers every year. So
Yeah.
all of these types of ideas that everybody can understand and how cool it is, and applying this to practical science, so logical science, logical law, logical justice systems. Like, for an example, in the book, there's a book called, let me see here. Well, there is total justice. So total justice is like the scientific, like, version of the justice system, which it might be under the category total politics. Actually, I'd have to double check on that. And then there's another one which is about the law. So there's actually several books in there that actually talk about the law in very specific detail. Like, there's a book called the Book of Reactions. And the Book of Reaction gives a long list of scenarios and exactly what someone would have to do in perfect context and, of course, in perfect detail in any situation to actually conduct themselves perfectly, in a way, like a completely loving, just completely harm-free, omniscient, like, godly mind. So it's really cool. Like, it's really the book of the gods. And
Do you know who Jack Parsons is, by chance?
who?
Jack Parsons?
Any of these references of people, if you'd like to send them to me or text message them to me, I can look them up and then I can give you, like, some feedback about it. I have actually, I haven't spent, I've spent like maybe a year or two, like, really focused on documentaries and things like that, just to see, like, what people are doing historically around the planet, and I haven't been really following anybody.
I was also reading about this new lord called Lord Zanu. Have you ever heard of him?
Lord, no, I haven't actually. In the context that you mean, I mean, of course, we're all family. I can imagine. That's the thing that's so great about.
Hey, Lord Zanu!
You can imagine every possibility infinitely, in perfect context.
Okay.
I go to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had.
Yeah. How's your day today, Matt?
It was good. I worked today, and I was thinking about, like, everything you were telling me last night, especially about this whole voting system that you have built.
So it's
what kind of components? Where did you get all your components from for it, and what went in to the designing, and who oversaw the designing of the system? Was there any kind of engineers that helped?
So you could say the healthy gods. So they'll flow like positive energy. There's ways that they can actually connect with my conscious mind. So if we're, like, thinking about things in unison, or they can deliver positive energy, and it's like the original investment system in a way. And so things that I'm working on or that I'm thinking about. I've been very successful, and, kind of like the stock market, when I'm rising and stuff, people can, and, I've been rising nonstop, really. Some of this stuff, I mean, this technology is really constant technology, though. You could call it original knowledge. So I did spend a lot of time meditating and just working out the details, in my own head. And people actually, a lot of the gods actually contacted me afterwards. So after I already started talking about this, the thing is that it was pretty much like forever.
Is a lot.
Like, we've been connected forever. So.
Your opinion is a lot.
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Sorry about that. Something. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm listening, though.
Yeah, so it's pretty much designed off of perfect consciousness. So if someone, if you were to imagine, like, yourself, like loving everybody in the entire universe infinitely to the best, most efficient. I mean, all of
I just
the
want you to
things-
know, though, hey, by definition, I'm not a pedophile, though, okay? I'm not a pedophile. By definition, I'm not a pedophile.
You don't want to have intercourse with people under the age of 18?
That's correct.
Or that you don't love children? Because you definitely love children, right?
Well, yeah, doesn't everybody? Shouldn't everybody? But I'm not going to definitely have intercourse with a child under 18. Of course, that's illegal.
So that's the thing. So I don't want you to like hurt yourself. And so if you don't want to and they don't want to, right? If you don't want to and they don't want to, then that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. But if you ever wanted to do something that you love, right, like sexual, like it's relating to the instincts, attraction, things like that by definition, and they wanted to, like say you both wanted to go out and like have a time at a beach or something, you know, I'm on the phone, sweetheart. You know, then the thing is, you would actually be doing harm to the universe if you were to actually not do what was loving, you know? So
Right, but I'm not, even regardless, if she's underage, I'm not going to do it. That's just dumb. It's illegal. Yes?
So that's the thing. So if you didn't want to, if you're doing something that you didn't want to do, then that would be illegal. You're correct, as far as if that's the context you mean.
Well, even if the consent was there, right? Even if the consent was there, if I was over 21, right? Like you said, with the girl that you slept with that was 16, right?
Yeah.
That's illegal. By law, that is illegal.
So, righteous law, what is really the
No,
law? I committed no crime, actually.
Right, but
That's the fact, brother.
the fact is that is illegal. I don't know where you're getting your. Hold on, Josiah,
But that's illegal.
Josiah, hold on. You totally cut me off, dude.
No, Josiah, that's wrong.
You totally cut me off.
I'm correct. Go ahead.
You totally cut me off. It's illegal, dude, to sleep with somebody under 18 if you're over 18. There is Romeo and Juliet laws like I've heard about, right? But if you're 21 and you're 16, dude, that's illegal, Josiah.
It's actually not.
Yes, hold on. Okay, Josiah, hold on. Where are you getting your facts from that it's not illegal?
From all logic, common sense, democratic vote. You know what I mean?
Who's democratic vote? Whose vote? Tell me that. So if we took a vote, so if
other people are going to try to tell people they can't love each other when they want
see
to
what I
love
mean?
each
You
other,
hear his
they're
girlfriend?
wrong.
She's
They're
like,
being abusive.
no, that's wrong, Josiah. She's in the background telling him that's fucking wrong. She knows it.
The state of Hawaii addressing this because there's been a lot of harm, and I'm speaking on behalf of the infinite universe. So on behalf of your best interest as well, so that you aren't spreading false information.
I'm not spreading
and
false
actually
information, Mr.
diminishing the quality
Mizukami.
of life of
No,
other people.
Mr. Mizukami. That's you indeed, my friend, are spreading false information. That's wrong, dude. You can't say that, dude. You for you to say that pedophilia.
I'm calling you out because I love you, and I'm going to tell you the truth.
Okay, so you're telling me.
It's up to the individual.
You're-
As long as it's harm-free, it's righteous.
Okay, but
Nobody, not the United States government, not the Greco-Roman Empire, nobody can tell other people that what their loving choices are illegal or wrong. They're wrong, and they'll fall, doing that. And that's the fact. Just like the global pandemic, because people tried to tell me that what I was doing was not correct, or they did not accept the offers that I offered.
well,
them
if
to
you were the
correct
Messiah,
their demonic behavior. And the global pandemic broke out because they fucked with me.
if you were the Messiah, why didn't you come out and heal this global pandemic?
I actually did. I addressed it before it happened. But that's the thing about when other people are making mistakes, right? Other people have still been making mistakes.
Who are these other
until
people?
recent times
Who are
to do
these,
things like
Josiah?
murder animals.
Who are these,
We're trying to
Josiah?
tell people that they can't love each other.
Who are
And
these,
go to hell with
Josiah?
that.
Josiah, who are these other people making mistakes?
So people slaughtering animals.
Okay, let's get beyond the slaughtering animals. Josiah.
To the GDBS system. People like stopping me at the airport for no reason, people lying to me, saying, like, for an example, it's a random search, but then saying, for an example, they know that I'm going on sex tours when I'm not. So people lying to me are literally going to hell for that shit, and it's quantifiable. You know why? Because my technology and my policies are perfect, and I am the true Messiah, and I am the righteous King of all Israel and Judea and Judah, and it's prophesied, and I perform miracles all over this planet. And it's their own fault for making those harmful choices that have been perpetuating hell. And we're talking about global pandemics. We're talking about trillions of life forms being killed, murdered, going through suffering. We're talking about the oceans being raped. We're talking about pollution on a scale that people have actually talked about, the destruction of the Great Barrier Reefs. We're talking about child abduction. We're talking about child abuse. We're talking about a prison.
We're talking about child abuse. Hold on, Josiah. Check it out. We're talking child abuse, right? Pedophilia is a form of child abuse. You having sex with an underage child is considered child abuse.
Not correctly. People can be wrong, and they can go to fucking hell. And that's the truth. And that's how beautiful the justice system is.
So what you said you got stopped at the airport?
Yeah, I did. I let you know. They actually, they literally stole my equipment by force. They lied on more than one occasion. Like I said, they said this is random, and I told them the physics of it. No choice that you make is ever random. It's intentional. Be responsible for the conscious decisions that you make lovingly, right? I cooperated them to the best of my ability. That was legal until they started to do things even worse, right? After the first time that they pretty much, out of ignorance or passing on sayings or things that other people say, like it's a random search to try to justify their type of suboptimality linguistically, mathematically, even just that alone. And then, to go on to accuse me of actually going on sex tours into Malaysia, which is obviously suboptimal and linguistically and mathematically.
Well, statistically, Josiah, statistically, Malaysia is the human and sex trafficking capital of the world. You knew that, right?
So that depends on what information.
That's according to the Josiah. I looked up the statistics. It's accurate. Okay.
Okay.
I guarantee you that.
Well, I can take a look at it. I trust you. I trust you that information.
Well, you're the Messiah. You would know that, right?
The thing is, all the systems that I'm sharing with Sky do address that stuff perfectly. So prostitution, for example, can be completely legal if people are doing it harm-free.
It is legal in some countries. Yeah, it is legal in some countries.
If it's harm-free, it's legal. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, my brother. Think about how eye-opening and how wonderful this is to share this with people and to set the good example.
This guy's an absolute fucking psycho.
By agreeing to false laws or illegal proceedings, right?
If you don't mind me asking, Josiah,
taking my electronics and not agreeing to them taking my son and not agreeing to people trying to tell other people what to do with their loving choice in a way that's harmful and restrictive.
So does your current girlfriend know that you slept with a 16-year-old?
I tell her, everything openly whenever it arises.
And how does she feel about that situation?
So she is not actually making, you could say, perfect decisions up until recently, and that is her own choice. So I gave her the opportunity. I'm actually looking forward to actually finishing this book on my own, so I can actually just get a whole lot more done a lot faster and things like that, and she can just enjoy the book with everybody else once the book is released. And one thing I asked her just the other day is, I just asked her, you can tell by the health of your conscience, and not necessarily word for word, but to the gist of, how healthy are you as far as do you know?
How old is your current girlfriend, and how old are you?
Because
Josiah, how old is your girlfriend now?
She's about 2 years younger than me.
And how old are you?
I am 36, going on 37.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And so you were questioning her if she's healthy, if she's making the right decisions.
Well, the thing is, I know the truth.
Which is?
So I
what's the truth?
Her consciously.
What's the truth? What's the truth?
Well, I know what she does. I know what she practices. I know what
What
she
is?
believes. I know what she thinks and things like that.
How
As
long have
far
you
as
guys
all
been
that stuff
together?
that she shares, it's very easy to see what people are doing.
How long have you been
why, and
together
all
with
that
her?
kind of stuff.
How long have you been with her?
You know, it's been maybe over a year or so.
That's awesome, and you already know how she's thinking, huh?
Well, I mean, it's easy to tell, brother. I mean, you can just see what people do. I mean, you don't have to invade anybody's privacy. You could just kind of see online. You can just go online and just see what people are doing. Firsthand. You can go to a park and see what people are doing. You see what they're eating, see what they're saying. You can have a conversation and stuff like that. And you can see where people are making the right choices, like the most beautiful choices you could ever imagine, and where people are getting lazy, or whatever else it is, because you can equate all the negative words, right, as far as positive words that talk about things that are negative. So a word that describes something that's, say, criminal, right? Like if you use it in the right context, then it's a good word that's describing something that is not a good act. So all people, are meant to be loved and love, in their own individual, unique style. But not all of the actions that people have been making are perfect and harm-free. And so that's the thing that we really, have a great opportunity to give people those greatest opportunities, to have that trust and that love of whoever it is, whether it's your girlfriend or your new friend or your children or whoever it is or your government, to do the right thing.
Has the government given you an update on has the government given you an update on what they're going to do with your electronics and everything? Have they told you anything about that?
Actually, I'm looking forward to getting a call back from the contact that they gave me. And so, they haven't said at all in any way that they're not going to give it back to me. Every impression they gave me was with the intent to give it back to me. And so I'm going to...
What do you if in your opinion,
after this.
in your opinion, what are they doing with it?
I mean, that's the thing. I would trust them actually not to try to break into my property either. I mean, obviously there's nothing illegal on there. Everything that's on there is in there in perfect context. So as far as, there are things that I talk about that are illegal, but I'm talking about it in a righteous context. I'm talking about it in a loving context. So it's like, if you're going to look up a research paper on something, or if you're going to look up an article on the wars and stuff like that, that's in good context, that doesn't advocate for war or violence and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would say I would love to trust them that they didn't break into my electronics. If they wanted to ask me kindly, Josiah, we know that you're writing the true word of God. We want to commend you for all of the help that you've shared with us consciously on this planet. We noticed the difference when you ascended and the global pandemic breaking out. And, we've noticed the recordings of the miracles publicly on your Instagram and on your social medias. We recognize the mathematics, the linguistics, we recognize your history. We recognize that you've shared everything openly with us, and we would love to see what you're working on. If you want to share some of this stuff with us, I mean, hey, if they want to read the book under those contexts, right? Under that context, if they're being respectful and loving and like a friend, like a good friend, a true friend would be like, hey, we'd love to actually have a sneak peek at the book and see what you're writing in there and stuff.
How many pages do you have so far?
Anticipating this. Then that would be a different case. I would love to actually have some time to show it to him in that way. The thing is, I've been sharing as much of the data as possible, as quickly as possible, because obviously it's the most valuable data for everybody on this planet. In the context too, we're talking about stuff way beyond industrial age technology, way beyond computer age technology.
This guy makes me want to fucking throw up sometimes. It's like, it's overwhelming to listen to him talk.
Context. We're talking about immortality of human soul. We're talking about like having absolute perfect happiness. We're talking about things beyond nirvana, beyond what the Buddha has tried to achieve. We're talking about things beyond the purpose of Jesus Christ. We're talking about the actual whole, tree of knowledge, brother, like without any question. And the thing is, you don't even have to convince people of the truth because it's obvious. It's like 1 + 1 can equal 2. And then you can also understand, like different types of ways of looking at things. And the purpose is to be loving about it, like to share how simplistic it is, like one thing that Einstein, to the gist of, he said that was really interesting. I'm thinking it was Einstein. You'd have to double check the information to be out to just make sure. Is that well,
But hold on, wait, well, Josiah, you said you were smarter than Einstein. Wouldn't you remember what he said?
That's the thing. I'm just like super accurate, so I'm pretty sure it's Einstein on this one. But I don't say anything unless I'm super absolutely accurate. And I'm pretty sure it was him. You'd have to double check though, just to make sure.
You know what Einstein. You know what Einstein said about the bees?
About the what?
About bees.
What did he say?
I'm asking you if you know.
Oh, I would love to hear it actually. Yeah, like yeah. What did he say?
Oh well, you're smarter than him. I thought you were gonna know, brother.
Well, I know the bees. I mean, the bees are one of the most beautiful, like, wholly contributing, life forms on this planet. They're super powerful. You can see the sacred geometry of, like, how they produce honey and stuff because they're so good and, like, performing. They're kind of like a fluffer in a way for, like, pornography in a way. If you're looking at it as far as, like,
Whoa!
bees,
Back
like,
up a second. I don't think bees are fluffers. They're pollinators.
Pollinator, you know what I mean? Like I'm giving like a humorous type of or description of them helping plants.
I don't get the relation to bees pollinating flowers and pornography. I really don't.
So that could be your decision. My perspective on that is, they're helping plants pretty much procreate, and create fruit and seeds and things like that. And it's sexual, so you could look at it in a different way. I'm looking at it like, wow, it's beautiful. Like they're having like a bee and plant orgy, you know what I mean? And they help with hybrid plants and stuff like that. And they can cross-pollinate between different types of plants and stuff, which is kind of like, it is technically actually interspecies relations if you're cross-pollinating. Like, for an example, you could talk about it like as far as inner.
So can we get back to the global democratic voting system? Is there any specifications out online that show this machine hold on, Josiah?
Yeah.
Josiah, dude, you keep cutting me off, man. Stop that.
Oh, go ahead.
Stop that, dude. Stop that. You talk a lot.
When you finish with a question, then I answer it really quickly.
Right, but then you don't let me. I want to ask a couple questions, right?
Okay.
Before you go on and answer with a really long answer. Okay.
Okay.
So the global democratic voting system. Is there any kind of schematics online? Where has it been tested? Okay, because if this is some kind of voting system, where has it been implicated? Has it been proven? Is there a checks and balances against it? Those are think some things that are actual very pertinent questions when you're talking about this voting system, right? What is this voting system? I need you to explain that in detail to me. What's it look like? Where's it at? Where's it located? Who designed it? Where? If I'd like to see the schematics, if there are some for it.
Sure. Okay, so you can go to the website for one location of some of the information, skyview.design and universalconsciousness.
I'll be right back.
.net. And it's open format technology that I've offered to everybody as pretty much the extension of the perfect systems. So these systems have always existed as far as what the principles, functions, capabilities, and of course morals and ethics of what GDVS is what has always existed as far as the good that has ever been done in the universe. So you could say God's plan. So it is how God's plan works. It's how every individual consciousness works, so long as they're making perfect harm-free decisions. So each individual has their own vote, like each bird, each plant, each snail, each person. Every particle has its own individual persona, you could say. We're all infinite in a very beautiful way, like your body is infinite. And any point of your body, like your physical human body, you could zoom in forever. And any point anywhere, you could zoom out forever. So we are infinite in a very beautiful way. And the purpose, which is why the show is called The Purpose, is to do good. And that's the same purpose of all of the systems that I've shared open format from Skyview Design. You can say that Skyview Design is the company of all people. So you could say it's God's company and be accurate, like the cosmos' company. And we take every single person's individual vote and rights into beautiful acceptance and context while supporting everything good that anybody wants to do and not supporting anything harmful, which is how Holy Spirit, pure prana, goodness, right? Like just the light, good karma, how that works, right? Like on a machine or a tree or an organism or conscious mind. And so that's the system that's pretty much always existed. And this is the first time on this planet of Earth that someone has actually shared this system in this type of detail that can be incorporated into a type of computer technology as far as a metallic type of combination of wireless technologies and hardware and software technologies to actually unify and provide optimum communication and optimum voting, you could say decision making for everybody on this planet, for collaborations, music, art, industry, business, and the list goes on and on and on. As long as it's good, we support it. And that's what all of the righteous gods and anyone at any given time do, making the right choice, which is so beautiful, which is also why I have to stand firm for everybody's rights, no matter what age they are, no matter what ethnicity they are, whatever nationality they are, whatever the laws are from any government entity, I have to stand firm and absolutely uncompromisable and irrehensible, as far as like just I can do no harmful things at all. Otherwise, it would absolutely corrupt myself while not corrupting the GDBS system, because the GDBS system's principles that you can look up online, that I've shared open format, Elon Musk can have it, anybody can have it, so long as they do the right thing, right, then it is the GDBS system. And that's also why I won't do the wrong thing. I won't agree to laws that don't represent the best interests of all people. And you could say...
Does that law include pedophilia?
That law includes pedophilia, and I'm speaking for all loving people and everyone's best interests. And even the people that have had a mix of definitions, like, for example, the Webster's definition versus the Google definition or the Greco-Roman definition, right? To clarify it and to give it in clear context, so it's very easy to understand for everybody and to understand the core principle, to love and to do no harm by default. And so that's why I was very clear with all the definitions. So whether I talked about bestiality, zoophilia, bestiality, I mean, zoophilia, your dog humping your leg or something, you've seen that a lot. It's been humorous, a lot of people that haven't passed harmful judgment, right? Like that kind of stuff is very common. I mean, you can see this between donkeys, horses. Of course, you don't want to force copulation. That is rape. So what you could say is rape is people buying slaughtered animals where they're forcing cows or sheep or other animals like chickens to mate, right? It's horrific, artificially inseminating them.
He's really fucking hung up on these slaughterhouses for some fucking reason.
Up until recent times. And that's how important it is that I am flawless as well. Because
what about the chemicals? What about the chemicals they put in vegetables and stuff to make sure that there's no pest in them and things like that?
So no pesticides are righteous. Absolutely no pesticides. And
I got a question too, Josiah. I got a quick question, man. How do you figure that you're the most perfect on Earth?
Excuse me?
How do you figure that you're the most perfect person on Earth?
Okay, so check this out, because it's calculatable. So anybody that was in human form on this planet...
What were you before this? What were you before human form?
So that's the thing, because I actually have changed. I've changed my center focus of consciousness at different times while I was in human form.
Did you go from changing your center focus?
Human form.
Josiah.
I remember massive scales of we're talking about scales so massive that it's actually larger than what people could describe as the neural network of galaxies.
So did you go from a Navia model to, is that where you change your scope? You went from, say, a male model to a Navia model to a Messiah? Because it seemed like hold on, Josiah, you're getting off again, man. Let me talk just for a second, man.
Yeah, go for it.
It seems like just a few years ago, you were this guy doing these commercials for Navia and stuff, and there was no Messiah complex, and all of a sudden you have a Messiah complex. What happened? What changed in your life for you to all of a sudden be considering yourself this great Messiah, and that you had all this infinite knowledge that nobody else has?
So the thing is that I actually always did feel the same way.
There's a lot of people out there right now claiming the exact same thing that you're saying. That they're the one, that they're the greatest Messiah, they're Moses of this generation, that they hold all the answers.
Let's get together and let's talk about this.
I would love to see you guys get together and talk about this, but you know what? I don't think something like that will ever happen. Just the nature of the beast, man. Unfortunately.
Oh, dude. Well, that's okay. So this is the thing. So if there was a true Messiah, right? The true Messiah
Which there isn't.
would be doing
Which there isn't.
exactly what I'm doing.
There's no true Messiah, Josiah. There's no true
Yeah.
Messiah.
Yeah.
There's no true Messiah. Not right now.
Oh, I am.
No,
Definitely.
no,
There's no doubt.
I don't think so, dude.
There's no doubt, brother.
Where's your
I have
proof?
the technical knowledge
Where does it
about
say in the
everything
Bible that
in the universe,
where does
and
it
I do the
Josiah?
right thing with it.
Where does it say in the Bible that you're the new Messiah? Can you point out? Hold on, Josiah.
Josiah, the king at 8, and also the king of Judea, which is Judah and Israel. And if you look up whether or not that's a prophecy, right? Because a lot of people could have been paying attention to different parts of the Bible or putting more emphasis on Jesus, who ended up being sacrificed, and not as much interest on King Josiah, who actually abolished false worship, which is actually exactly what I'm doing by telling everybody the loving truth. Big time. So if there was a true Messiah on this planet in human form, they would have no fear, they would have no weakness, they would have no lack of understanding, and they would make no excuses for doing harm to any form of life anywhere. And that's a fact. They would be maximally efficient, which means they would recognize the true and constant original currency, which is what some people have called Holy Spirit, which means you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is what's best for all people everywhere in the entire universe. And that's how important it is. And it's so beautiful. And everyone can understand this, and everyone can relate, has that origin, that core architecture. I actually have entitled that time period of perfection before the first harmful choice was ever made as Sarah Jeha. Now that's something that people have an infinite amount of names for, as far as what they thought of it as, the frequency that they thought of it as when they were in those infinite periods of time. And what I represent is that original perfection in God's plan, and helping planets like Earth pretty much accept the greatest gifts that life has ever offered, if they have ever chosen to start doing harm. And that's the thing about it. Every single person that is the true Messiah on this planet or any other planet would be standing up and communicating with people.
How many Messiahs are there, Josiah? Josiah.
How positively.
Josiah, how many?
Yes, sir.
How many Messiahs are there?
So right now on this planet in human form, as far as by definition of what the Messiah means, by the definitions that I looked up, like the leader of Israel and the Jewish people, and the righteous spiritual leader, I would be the epitome, you could say, that pinnacle of human beings on Earth.
This guy is absolutely full of fucking shit.
Doing what I'm doing. And I understand there could be some people that are doing similar things in their own capacity in other places. The thing is, they're not in any media that I've seen so far. I can give you examples of some people that have been put on pedestals in a way, like activists, for an example, like Greta Thunberg. So Greta, she has environmental interest, and yet she hasn't been saying exactly the optimum information and knowledge that I've been sharing with everybody. So you can tell based off of what they say and what they do. So if anyone's slaughtering animals, they're murderers technically, and they obviously haven't.
Yeah, we talked about that. I love eating animals. My stepdad, he just killed a deer today. We hunt in our family. He just killed a deer. It's going in our freezer. It's going to be on our table for dinner.
So it's like a circle of life and death that your dad is agreeing to. And the pain,
kind of like the Lion King, right? Like the circle of life.
because there's different calculations.
Hey, are you talking like the circle of life in Lion King?
So yeah, you could look at that in a way. So the circle of life would mean that you're in a circle, like a mechanical type of circulation of only life, which only life would mean no death, right? So you never die, you never do harm to other people, you're never guilty of doing harm and things like that. And so this is something that's very important for everybody to recognize, so like I mentioned, I use a polyester cloth instead of toilet paper. It's reusable. It's something I already had. And so I'm not responsible for cutting down oak trees or harming plants or harming the bacteria. The systems that I'm sharing in the book, brother, like I said, which is why I started with the bacterial scale, is how to actually be completely harm-free and immortal on all scales. So dark matter, infinitely smaller, energy infinitely larger, celestial bodies, and so on.
Yeah.
So how to respect everyone, to love them, and to just give them the gifts. Like, hey, if your dad wants to live forever, he's going to have to stop hunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he wants to have a clean conscience and a completely clear mind, he's going to have to stop hunting.
Probably not.
It's a wonderful, beautiful, good thing.
Not going to happen. Guarantee it's not going to happen. For sure.
Well, I mean, if I were to say it like, your dad can have heaven,
my family's not religious.
Right?
My family's not religious.
They can be scientific.
I don't think they're scientific either. My family's more practical.
They can be logical. I can give them the logic of it, and that's one.
Oh no, I think my parents are good. I think my parents are good with the logic they have right now. I don't think. Yeah, I think they're okay with that. Thank you though.
So I can let you know what's going to happen pretty much based off of what people agreed to.
Okay. So what's going to happen in my life? What's going to happen in my life? Josiah, what's going to happen in my life?
So that depends on what you agree to do. So you can say,
well, you're the Messiah. If you know all this stuff, what's going to happen in my life, bud?
I just gave you the absolute answer.
We're playing for $100,000 here, man.
Okay, so you're going to have some major positive energy from that. Like massive, powerful, good energy. And just having this conversation with me, that's part of it. So having these conversations with me and having this sharing, this genuine, loving interest in you and your family and everybody for all of the right reasons, whether you give me the money or not, just knowing that you have the greatest opportunities to be the greatest, most powerful God you could ever imagine. Like right now,
there's only one God, I think. There's only one God, and that's the man above.
You could say the universe as like the cosmos is one God. That's one perspective. So, in full context, you could say that. You could also say we're like in the womb. Like if we're within, we're like in the womb, and you could call it like a her, as well. So as long as it's loving perspective that's true, then it's honest and true, and it's beautiful and creative. And so that's cool, in a way. And you could view the man above as who you're going to be next, like if you're looking at it as a time scale. And so that's what I'm putting in the book is all of these different beautiful ways to factually, honestly look at things. And you can equate things and you can plan your life forever because, brother, you really are, like who you are right now is a result, you could say a sum if you're doing math, as of infinite previous choices.
Yeah.
Infinite previous choices that you've made have brought you to who you are now and where you are now. And you have an infinite future to decide where you go and how and why. And that's why it's so important what you agree to do or what you agree not to do.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. Okay.
Karma is very, very beautiful in many ways. Karma is some massive wisdom as far as all of the truthful things about karma. What I call it, a version of it that I'm putting in the book that I've given in the videos is called the law of conductivity. And the law of conductivity is beautiful because conductivity has like a mechanical, electrical type of definition. And then it also has, kind of a philosophical kind of definition, like a moral definition, like how you conduct yourself, like a conductor or a maestro. And so that word's beautiful because it really helps describe what good karma is all about, And what's great, I mean, if you choose to walk this path with me or run this path or fly this
Oh, I don't run
path.
anywhere, man. My knees are
You know?
beat up from jumping out of airplanes in the military. Yeah, I don't run anywhere.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you choose to jump out of an airplane, if you choose to do, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could choose to do. You really want to choose to do what is absolutely harm-free, which means you support what is ultimately most loving. And what is most loving has no weaknesses. So you could say it has no defense.
Was that
and
harm-free?
it has no offense. I was just thinking about your burp was kind of, I was thinking Japanese culture of how, like, you know, people eating good food and how their culture is like, you know, they make like loud slurps and burps and stuff. I don't do that personally, but when I do hear it, I think it's some good stories that my friends told
Hey,
me
man.
about
Hey,
that kind of stuff.
my mom's calling. I'm left to let you go.
Yeah,
Can,
okay, cool.
Can we talk tomorrow some more?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
we can talk about this tomorrow, man.
Okay, cool. Later.
All right, have a good one, brother. Bye.
Bye. Josiah Mizukami, everybody. You guys are going to be seeing these at a later date. Today is November 2nd, okay? We came on this asshole about 2-3 weeks ago when he's talking about fucking pedophilia. Now you hear the shit that this piece of shit's been saying. This is real shit. I don't give a fuck about this guy. I don't give a fuck about what he thinks is right and legally, morally, fucking secularly, what the fuck ever. Whatever he's thinking and whatever he was doing is fucking illegal, that's for sure. There's the reason the DHS fucking seized his shit was because he was on a fucking sex tour. Why the fuck else would he be going to fucking Malaysia? Statistically, Malaysia is the fucking human and sex trafficking capital of the world, everybody. It is. It's a fucking hellhole, man. It's not good. And for him to be there with that complex, not good.